Welcome to Career Clarity Bootcamp Day 6. I'm so excited that we have made it this far. We are wrapping up very quickly. And like I said yesterday, one thing we're going to do today is enough with the talks and back to action. I hope you've written your breakup letter to self doubt and you have mapped out where you want to be and taken you have made the decision to come out of that space where you're at. And given that you have done all of that, this is the time for us to learn how to stay on track and avoid setbacks. What we are going to do today is centered around accountability and motivation, simply because we know that it takes a lot for anybody to go through coming out of mental chains. I hope you've identified what mental chains you're having and you're beginning to take steps towards coming out of it. So today's class is going to help you not just come out of that mental chain, but also stay on track and ensure that you don't fall back into the same phase again. So what I titled today's session is Walking the Talk, motivation and accountability. And this is simply because success does not come from big leaps. It is built in the tiny daily habits that you repeat. Success is accumulation from repetitive tasks, small repetitive tasks. If you want to lose weight at the end of the year, you're not going to wait till the end of the year to get started. You want to take one step today, another step tomorrow. 20 minutes of outdoor walking today, even indoor walking, maybe 100 skips, just little things put together, it comes into one big successful leap. So if you're waiting for when you are ready, like we said yesterday, you are never going to be ready. You're never going to do anything because you will never actually be ready to do these things. Little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. That's the proverb that the English people say. And that is completely true because an ocean did not just come, okay, well, God created the oceans, the water, and all. But if you leave your tap running and dripping in tiny bits in an empty bucket, you'll soon come to realize that all those tiny drops of water have filled up that bucket. If you've never done this before, maybe try it today. Open your water in the kitchen, your bedroom to run in really tiny bits. And maybe say, okay, I'm going to leave it for the whole day. You see that before 24 hours, the water will get to, if it's not full, depending on how slow the water is dripping, you will see the water has gotten to a good momentum you can actually scoop out from. So that's what we say when we say walking the talk, building motivation and accountability. You can be in a space, you can get all the hype, the big can talk and talk and talk, and then you get all the hype and you're like, oh, I really want to do this. But if you don't start now to put in all of this tiny effort, you will end up not doing anything. And all of this session will be a waste. Well, again, like I said, you can always pay me to talk to you, to hype you every other day. But I think you need, like I said, you could always pay me to hype you every other day, but I think you need more than an everyday hype to get to the point where you want to be. This is a big career leap for you, and I think you want to go ahead and take it very personally because whoosh, I want to hear the testimonies rolling in. Okay, moving on to the next slide. I dare to tell you that discipline is not just automatic. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want the most, your wants and your needs. There's a law in economics that says that human needs are insatiable. That is to say, you can never satisfy it. You want to get this, maybe if you're a guy on this platform, you want to get a girl and you pursue and you chase and you feel like, okay, even when she's playing hard to get, you know that you're going after something. Then when she agrees to be your woman, you know that, okay, you begin to want something else. If you're a woman, you've probably been in that space where you have dressed and you want to buy a dress or you want to buy a bag or a shoe and you're like, oh, I'm going to save towards this. When you finally buy that bag, and now it's yours, you begin to look for the next big thing you want to chase after. So discipline is knowing that, okay, this is something that I want, that is important for me long term. It's not important for me right now, so I'm going to delay my gratification. So discipline is equals to delayed gratification. Now, it's not enough. Motivation will get you started, and it's not enough that you are motivated. You also want to be in that space where, you know what, I'm going to do this irrespective and nevertheless. So you don't just want to be in that space that says, oh, hey, everything's happening all right for me. and I'm gonna get started. Now I'm feeling like, oh, I want to do this. The truth is, starting is often the easy part. It's a lot of the times the easy part. When people say, oh, I want to do something, I want to do something, and you begin to make that step, it is easy to start because someone has hyped you, someone has motivated you, someone has said something to you that makes you now believe in yourself and say, okay, you know what? I'm done with imposter syndrome. I'm done with the feelings of familiarity. I'm done with every other mental chain that we had talked about. I'm done with uncertainty. I know for sure what I want, that I'm going to get started. But how do you stay on track when no one is watching? That's what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about doing the work even when your excitement is not there, even when you know that, oh, your lady B is not speaking to you anymore, you're not hearing anything she's saying. How do you stay excited? How do you stay motivated? How do you continue pursuing that dream you said you want to get by end of the year? How do you start in January with all of the New Year resolution, New Year, New Me? This year, I'm going to take my finances personal. This year, I want to take my workouts personal. This year, I want to build friendships. This year, I want to be intentional with my network. But then, when there's nobody telling you, oh, hey, let's go here or let's go there, how do you actually carry yourself? Motivation is great, but it can definitely be fleeting, and fleeting in like very easy part. That's why you need to tap into your why. To be disciplined is when you have to tap into your why. Your why is your reason for showing up in this boot camp. I am struggling with this. I want to get out of it because I want to make more money. I'm struggling with this. I want to get out of it because I want to get to the point where I don't have to work because I want to make money. I have to work because I actually enjoy doing what I'm doing. You want to tap into your why because your why is what's going to keep you going even when motivation has died down. So, like I said, it is easy to be fired up in the beginning, but when your energy dips, what actually happens? What goes on when there's no one to say, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna call you every day to show up at the gym." "Oh, hey, I'm gonna call you every day to find out how much money you saved this week." "Or hey, I'm gonna call you to see how much you're doing with that project you talked about." What keeps you going after all of the hype? That is your why. So you need to find it. You need to revisit this boot camp. You need to replay these videos. You probably need to sit down with all of the notes you have made and ask yourself certain questions. You want to ask yourself questions like, what am I working towards? What would change if I stay consistent? Who is depending on me to succeed? And many a times I find that most of us are reluctant to keep going because we are like, okay, this is all about me, because we are selfish about our why, we are selfish about our reason for doing this. When it's just you, when no one is applauding you, when no one is checking up on you, when there's no money motivation. Maybe you were volunteering for a role and it didn't seem like you were going to get paid, or maybe you were going to get paid in the beginning but then payment stopped. Are you going to still be on that role? Are you going to be on that job? I am an advocate for moving on to what is right for you. I honestly do not advocate for employee loyalty because I have suffered the downside of employee loyalty. But I feel like if you want to stay in an organization, you want to understand your why. Okay, even if these guys are not paying me, I want to be here for like 6 months so that I can gather sufficient experience that could help me pivot to the next level of my career. So you want to say who's depending on you to succeed. I believe that I'm an ardent believer that all of our what's the word? There's an English word I'm looking for. All of us are intertwined in such a way that our purposes are intertwined. My purpose might be to motivate, my purpose might be to uplift the lives of young women, but those people's purposes are also tied to someone else. Someone else's purpose is tied to me. Okay, which is why I'm saying that when you have your why somewhere visible, when you have your why placed on a sticky note on your mirror, when you have your why placed on maybe your workspace, when you have your why placed as the wallpaper on your laptop, you remember that I'm not going to this job for money. I'm going to this job because I want to learn and pivot into the next vice president role. Okay, this job does not pay me as much right now, but I'm going to learn what I need to learn here to move on to my next level. So it is important that you ask yourself what future you are building for yourself. 30 days from now, if you stay consistent, what would happen? What would be the difference? Because the truth is, between our current state and our to be state, it's just a decision. Okay, I want to stay consistent with my workout. I'm not going to eat anything flour produced. I'm not going to eat bread for 30 days. And you will see that, okay, by the time I do that, I may not get all of the 50K weight loss, but I will make good progress. Things like that. I know that, oh, I want to write CBAP at the end of this year, but I'm not going to wait to the end of the year to write CBAP. I'm going to begin now to do my research. What will I need to write CBAP exam? And CBAP is Certified Business Analyst Professional. That is one of the professional exams for business analysts. And I'm saying that a lot because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm a business analyst. So, what is at stake if you don't follow through that plan? Those are questions you want to ask yourself because it is important that you build routines that support your growth here. As you're moving through life, you want to stay motivated when no one is watching. You want to build routines that support your growth. You want to find accountability partners and you want to have an action plan. These are things we'll cover today, so stay with me. Now, quickly moving on to when no one is with you, when it's just you, no applause, no check-ins, your clarity becomes your fuel. And I embolden those so that you remember that when you know what your why is and you're constantly having that in view, that's going to fuel your drive. That's going to fuel your passion. That's going to fuel you when the money's not there. It's going to fuel you when the results are not turning in. It's going to fuel you to keep showing up and putting yourself out there and telling people that you do this for a living. You're not motivated by the six figures that tell you you will earn when you get into tech. You're motivated by what impact you can make and how you can build your skill set. You're motivated by what impact you can make when you get that skill set and how then the monies come in. Because, like I said in one of the earlier videos, money follows value. If you're chasing money, you will never get it. But if you chase value, you will get lots of money because money follows value. So motivation fades, but your purpose can keep you moving. Again, this centers around your why. If you know why you're doing what you're doing, if you go all out with strength and vigor, and you know that, okay, I want to save the life of every girl from being a victim of rape, or I want to save every girl child from being a victim of domestic violence, I want to save every male child from shadowing their emotions, then you know that even when it's not paying you, even when you're not getting the applause, even when you're not getting the recognition, you will keep at it because your motivation will fade. All these talks from Lady B, someday it will not be there, but your purpose can keep you moving, which is very important. Now, I like to tell you that growth does not happen by accident. Growth is built through structures. I'm going to let that sink for a bit and then I'll meet you in the next mode.